Hey friends, it's your girl Queen Gift, and I'm here today with Precious David.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a mindset coach, and she's here to tell us a little bit about her story. Just give us the deeds, give us the story, give
I
us the
should give it to
gist.
you hot, hot.
Yes, drop it on the table for us.
Okay.
All right, so can you tell me a bit about your early life, your family, friends, good memories, bad memories?
Okay. Um, Firstly, I would say that my life has been filled with a lot of failures. So, as you're listening to this interview, just sit back, relax, and enjoy all the details because I'm going to try to be very
Honest.
open, very honest about my life journey and all the challenges I've faced. I lost my dad when I was 5 years old, and I didn't get to enjoy the benefits of having a father.
Yeah.
It was just my mom taking up the responsibility for both my dad, my mom, and every other thing that comes with raising a child, raising children, because I have three siblings. We are four. The last memory I have of him, even up till now, I can't forget that.
I
We
remember
had
his
a
face.
yeah, we had a velvet green velvet chair. Yeah, so he was sitting on that chair one afternoon. I think my mom went to work because my dad was a scholar. He was not a business person. He was very intelligent. My mom was a handy person. So he used to read a lot, teach other people. So he was always at home taking care of us while my mom would go to do her business. So I had come back. No, I had not started school then. I don't remember if I started school or not, but I know that that was in the middle of the day, in the afternoon. Just took me up. I think I was crying or something, put me on his leg and started singing for me, patting my back, and it was just a beautiful day. So you see that that memory is still fresh in my brain. We needed to choose between having our mother's presence
Yeah.
or being able to afford the next meal. And guess what? As a mother, you won't let your children make those kind of decisions, and it was automatically being able to afford the next meal. So my mom was usually not at home. She was always on the road trying to sell her food. She owned a restaurant. At some point, the restaurant was not working, so she had to start using a barrow to push this food on the road so that people can buy, for her to be able to take care of us. And God helped her that we went to one of the best schools in Cross River State, Ecom, where we grew up. We had one of the best educations. My mom is someone who values education because, according to her, she was not able to further her education after her secondary school because of life challenges, and also she made sure we attended one of the best schools, got the best treatments and all. Even when we didn't have enough, she just wanted to fulfill that desire that has been in her heart for her children to have the best. So going to school, since it was a high-end school, and I didn't just fit in because I come from a background where we didn't have, we barely ate 3 times a day. And then one experience that stood out for me during this period is when we used to go to our neighbor's house to see a movie because we didn't have television at that time. So we'll stand by the window or keep a chair by the window. We don't enter the room, just by the window, and we can see all that is going on in the TV inside. So it felt like the woman was not comfortable with the fact that we were coming to see movies at her place. So one night we sat down. My mom had come back from the market so tired, and she wanted to join us to see a movie to just catch a break from life's problems. And she brought her chair, sat down, and immediately the woman banged the window. That mosquitoes are entering her house.
But did she know that you guys always do that?
Yes. It was like
She
a
gave you
routine.
permission.
Yeah, it was like a routine. We normally go there. When the movie is playing, you'll be just laughing, talking about the movie as it's going. So that day, she just banged the window and mosquitoes entering her house. She doesn't want any mosquito to enter her house. And my mom was just sitting there with the embarrassment and the shame. And the shame, when somebody just bangs the window and you and your family, your children, are just sitting outside, aimless and hopeless. So that day, when I tell you my mom did everything to give us the best, I'm not joking. So that day, I think she had been saving up some money to either invest back into her business or something. And she told us that this is the last day we would ever sit by anybody's window to watch TV again. So the next day when she went to sell her usual food, she came back with a TV, a decoder, a stabilizer, and a DVD.
I feel like our parents always have money saved up somewhere, but they don't want to bring it out until something very,
because they're trying to save for rainy days, and I think that was her own rainy
day. Yeah.
So she came back with all those things. You know, the whole compound came out, and they were looking. They used to call her Mama Pray. You know, my name is Precious, so Mama Pray. So when you go bring all these things, she never asked anybody. She just went into the house, set everything up. They fixed our antenna. You know, our TV started working. She bought speaker herself. So anytime we are playing music in the morning, she will tune the speaker. Everybody must hear that Mama Pray now has a TV. So that experience is one of the things that stands out for me in my childhood, because it ended a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
People started treating us with respect. You know, other children started coming to our house to watch movies. So our house was now filled with children, neighbors, parents. You understand? So those little sacrifices, you know, they're the things that stand. I can't forget them easily. Even if I forget any other memory, I can't forget them easily. So after secondary school, I've always been someone who loved to be handy because of my mom.
Yeah.
So I didn't just want to stay at home. I went to working in a studio as a front desk.
Okay.
They used to call it sales girl then. As a front desk, I was the one that would take customers. What do you want to do? What kind of pictures do you want to take? How many copies? And then relate to the management. The person would come and take the pictures. I was doing that for like a year. And then I went on to working with Airtel as a marketer, and I was around 15 then. And then I went on to work with GT Bank as a marketer at that age. Show you how hands-on I was. But then
was it difficult?
You know, I was a very shy person, so I had to just blend into working as a marketer, because you need a level of boldness to become a marketer or to market a particular product and bring in results. And it was quite good. I did a lot of numbers before I finally left working with GT Bank. But then life took a drastic turn when, as a young girl who had not really had the care of a father, or had not really enjoyed what it means to have a man present in your life to take care of you, at that point it was just my mom, and I was also struggling to make something out of my own life. I got involved with someone. My mom had initially warned me. You know, mothers, they'll warn you, that place you are going, there's fire there. But you know, as children, as inquisitive as we are, we want that place. They say don't go. That's the place you want to go and see what is happening there. So I got pregnant at 17. If I tell you my life took a drastic turn, I'm telling you facts. How do you explain being pregnant at 17? My mom was almost a deaconess in Assemblies of God. You know, Assemblies of God? Assemblies. The assemblies. My mom was always, so everybody around her knew, this woman is a church woman. Her children are, raised godly. They're always going to church, choir practice, going for rehearsals, revival, conferences. So how do you explain that somebody that was brought up in this kind of household is pregnant at 17? How did it happen? Whilst I was working in the bank, I came back from work one day. Someone handed me, the security guy handed me a note. And somebody said to reach him on this note. I was like, who is this person? I don't know him. Why are they asking me to reach them? But the man now said, just reach out to him. Maybe he has a business contract for you or something. So later on, I discussed with my mom that this is the person that gave me his number, that I should reach out to him. So reach out to him, let's know what he wants. I called the number, he picked up. He was like, I saw you in the bank, you didn't look happy. What was the problem? I said, I was just tired from the day's work. I said, okay, I want you to come to so place. Help me deposit some money in the bank. So I went there. asked me to go get the money from his room. I didn't think anything much of it. I went to the room, opened the bag. He asked me to count how much was there. I counted, it was 300,000. That was around 2012. 300,000 naira. So he now asked me to take the bag, go and deposit it in the bank, and then bring the receipt for him. I was like, why didn't you just go to the bank yourself and deposit the money? And he said he just wanted to find somebody who could trust that would run some transactions for him. And I went to the bank, deposited the money, brought the receipt, and that was how we became friends. And this person was much more older than I was. I think he was over 10 years older than myself. We became friends, and one thing led to another. The thing they said we should not do, we now did it. And as young as I was, would I say I didn't know what I was doing? I did. But I didn't think it would get to the extent of getting pregnant. But it eventually did, and because I was young and naive, I took it as a joke. You know, I thought that everything would just go on smoothly. But just like I said, I was a child and I was too naive to understand what life really meant. So when I found out, was even when I had left this person, because I wasn't comfortable with the relationship anymore. Battery have died.
Okay, so how did you find out about it? Was it like 2 months later, 3 months later?
So I found out that I was pregnant when I had moved on to dating another person. At that time, I thought it was the person I was dating that was responsible. I didn't know how to convey this to my mom, because I know it would shatter her whole world would be shattered. I couldn't convey this message to my mom, because my mom was already sensitive. You know, mothers and how sensitive they can be. She had been asking me, Precious, your period has not come this month. Because we basically live in the same house, and she knows my circle. I was telling her that I think it's because of the infection that I was battling with, maybe that was delaying, but she just knew something was wrong. And because she had started questioning me, one day I took my bags and ran out of the house.
You ran away?
Yeah. Because I couldn't face her. I couldn't tell her.
Yeah.
I didn't know what her reaction would be. Would she beat me to death? Would she faint? Would she die? So I took my bags because I had some money. I was working. I ran down to my uncle's place in Abakaliki. So when I was there, I told them what had happened, because they questioned why I just came all of a sudden without prior notice. They were the ones that now called my mom and told her.
Was it your mom's people or your
dad's people?
Okay.
My mom now came from Ikom to Ebonyi. The moment she saw me, she sat on the floor and started wailing. I had never seen my mom that broken before. You know, you lost your husband and the pain was not even, it had not finished, because my mom didn't even remarry up till date. My mom is not remarried. She has been single since year 2000. So you have not finished battling with the pain of not having your partner help you raise these children, with the stress of life, and then your first daughter, the one you have been priding around town with, is now pregnant. And she didn't even confide in you. She went to her uncle's. The woman just sat on the floor. She was wailing and wailing. I didn't know what to say. I was just crying. So, after everything had died down, the next question was, what should we do? Are you keeping the baby? Are you marrying the father? Are you taking it out? Because looking at it from all three angles, I was a young girl that had a future in front of her. I wanted to go to the university. I wanted to graduate. I wanted to do a lot of things with my life. And back then, their own mentality was, if you give birth, you're now second-hand material. You will not be able to go further with your life. You are just now there. That was their fear. But because I was still in love with who I thought was the father of the child, I was like, I'm going to marry him. I want to go back to I want to go and marry him. My mom didn't allow that. And I pray for my mom, and I thank God every day for her, that she didn't allow me make that huge mistake. After she had finished crying, the words that came out from her mouth, those words kept me for a long time, and they're still keeping me. She said, no matter what happens in this life, you're still my child. And I'm not going to throw you or abandon you. And it wasn't even myself that found out, it was my friend, my best friend at that time. She was like, Precious, this thing is not, the date is not matching. You started dating this person in so months. You gave birth in so months. This child is not premature. Do you think this person is the father? That was when we started doing the maths. We started calculating backwards. I now realized. So when I realized, I called him and I'm like, CEO. Because
is it the real father?
The real dad now. Okay. And during there's a way, I don't know how, the whole thing is just complicated. Yeah. When I was pregnant, I called him and said, I'm pregnant too. But I didn't tell him it wasn't for him, because I didn't know how to say that. And he just laughed and he said, I think you are joking. I said, I'm not joking. I'm talking about the real father now.
Okay.
So when I said that to him, he stopped calling me. Although I had moved on to dating someone else, we didn't end our relationship in bad terms.
Okay.
No. We're still talking. We're still talking,
just
but
not seeing.
Exactly.
Was it because of the pregnancy or?
No, I just didn't want to continue that relationship anymore. So I don't think that's something I want to get into now. But let's go back to how we relocated from.
Yeah. Well, how was the support from your friend?
My best friend.
Yeah.
No, she was all the way there.
What's her name?
Her name is Amaka Ungu. She was all the way for me. Even when I gave birth, she came to see me, bought my baby gifts. She was all supportive. And because of how our parents thought back then, people refused to allow their children mingle with me. Yeah. Everybody started running away from me. Even my aunties, my mom's sisters. They were warning their children.
Wow.
It will become bad news for them to see with someone that's pregnant in her mother's house. Most of my aunties, although most of them didn't pretend about it, they said it openly to me and to my mom that they would not like me to be around them with their children. The ones who try to pretend like they're fancying me also at some point told their children not to mingle with me. So it was just I, my mom, against the world. After I gave birth, that was another, it felt like I was conquering one failure onto the next failure. My child got sick. I didn't know what she was sick until like 3 months after her birth. There's this sickness that happens to children. The head breeds. In my language, they call it mbawishi. It's a sickness for children. So we didn't realize on time, and the sickness was eating deep into her. She got so sick, we couldn't sleep. She would always cry, until my mom, in her native way, she found a way to find out what was happening with the child. We now started moving from one state to the other, looking for treatment. That time was a crazy time for myself, my mom, and for the child. She was just getting thin, head was getting big, stomach was getting big. At some point I was scared that this girl would die. I was so scared that this girl would die. But God willing, with the help of my mom, we found a way and she got better. So another point that stood out for me in raising a child was that the child didn't want me. It sounds off. It sounds how exactly how. But anytime I carried her to nurse her, there was this resentment. I don't know how to explain it because it's not something you can explain. There was this. She would start crying and stretching away from me. As if I don't hold her strong, she will almost want to fall out of my hand. So I didn't breastfeed my child. Because anytime I carry her to nurse her, she's always removing her head. I had never experienced that. There was no literal explanation to that. When I tell you my mom is literally the superhero in this story, it's not me. My own was the back end worker. I was just the carrier of the child. When I brought the child to life, it was my mom's duty. From there,
I understand.
It got to a point that I had to undergo surgery on my boobs because my boobs had formed abscess. Because there was no way to express the milk, it was just there. The baby was not sucking, I could not extract. So they had to do me surgical operation on my boobs to bring out the pus and everything that was there. I went through a whole lot. So we went to the hospital. We tried to explain to the nurses and to the doctor, this child is not breastfeeding. Anytime we give this child to the mother, the child is always crying as if she wants to die. The nurses started. All these young girls that will give birth and they will not want to breastfeed their children because they don't want their breast to fall. Are we the ones that sent you to go and give birth? And you have brought this child to life.
No, that's not good.
So me, I don't know how to talk plenty. I just took the child, gave to one of the nurses. I was in the ward. It was a maternity ward. I took out my top, took out my bra. So I was just remaining the skirt I was wearing because I didn't know how to explain it. So I wanted them to see for themselves. I took out my bra, took out my top, and I handed the baby to the nurse. I said, oh yeah, look at the breast, look at the child, come. So that you not say I'm trying, I don't want my breast to fall. Will I bring a child to this world to come and kill the child? I didn't kill the child when I had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Is now. The nurses, 3 nurses, they asked me to give me a chair to sit down. I sat down. They brought the baby to, and the baby was sleeping. All this while the child was sleeping. They just brought the baby so that this is how you hold the breast, this is how you do it so that the child can. It's okay. People should go on. I'm watching. The moment they brought the child close to the breast, she woke up. She started crying, screaming the whole world. I said, hey nurse, what can you say now? You say I want to kill the child. Oh yeah, you that is an expert that knows how to do it. Do it now. 3 nurses, they couldn't do it. The child was stretching and turning and as if she just perceives.
Yeah, because they actually perceive me.
Exactly. If she just perceives me, something, she doesn't want anything to do with me. And I felt so bad. How can I give birth to a child and the child doesn't want me? How do I explain that to the world? How do I even explain it to myself? So we now started giving her milk. I started giving her milk even before then because she was not taking the breast milk. I started giving her milk. But anytime I realized that anytime my mom carries this child, it feels like she's at peace. She's crying, she'll just sleep off.
Were you jealous?
Calm. I wasn't jealous, but I didn't just understand what was going on. I didn't understand it because mothers are supposed to nurse their children. So what exactly was going on in my own case? It started bothering me. But then my mom now said, that this is an opportunity for you to go and focus on your life. As for this child, I'm going to take care of this child. You go and live the life you have always dreamt of. So my mom had to now start staying in the house to nurse the child while I go out to the market to buy things for food. So I was now the one doing omugo. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody that gave birth is now the one doing omugo. I had to start going out to the market so that my mom can, because the child cannot stay with me. She will just cry herself to death. And then the unthinkable and the unexpected happened. My mom now said one day, let me try and breastfeed this child. Let me see if she will take. Remember that my mom is not a nursing mother.
Yeah.
My sister was 15.
Mom's like doing that thing too.
My sister was 15 and that. So the last time my mom breastfed a child was 15 years ago. There was no sign of milk or anything that concerns nursing a child. But she just said, let me just try. Let's see if this child would calm down with this crying. My mom now started breastfeeding the thing. When she brought the breast to the child, if you see the way she hurriedly grabbed it and was dragging. Why? How? Why? There were so many questions. There were so many how and why. I say, there's nothing here. This child, her cheeks will start paining her because she's dragging only nipple. There's nothing there. Do you know that this girl dragged this breast until milk started coming out?
Milk.
I'm telling you true life story.
How?
I don't know. I can't explain till tomorrow. Milk started coming out. My mom was so scared because if you breastfeed a child with milk that is bad, the child will die.
Yes.
So we ran to the hospital. Doctor, come and see you. Doctor now came, so we now explain what happened. Doctor now said, okay, let me test the milk. Because there's a way they do run the test. If the milk is bad, they will know if it's not bad. Finish the test. I said, madam, the milk is good though.
Yes, sir.
The milk is good though. That's how my mom breastfed my child.
How did they explain the fact that your mom had breast
Nobody
milk?
could explain it. Till today. Nobody could explain. Nobody can still explain it. Wow. So that was how my mom breastfed my daughter till she was 8 months and she stopped. She weaned her. Till today my child calls me Auntie Pray. Because she grew all her life with my mother. Yeah. There was no time for me to, because after that event I went back to school. I went back to the university, finished I was not always at home. The child was with my mom. So she literally got fond of my mother and started calling her mommy and calling me auntie.
So what advice do you have to give anybody going through this same thing?
I would not say now that my life is the best. No, I'm still struggling. But there's beauty in struggle. There's beauty in failure. Success is just a streak of failures. What we call success, what we see, or what the world says, this person don't blow. This person is successful. Behind that success is a streak of failures. But failure is not a bad thing if you understand perspective. Yeah. Failure helps you become better, helps you improve in character, in decision, and in wisdom. But if you don't see failure as a tool, if you see failure as the none they do me from my village, you will keep remaining in that mindset. Everybody's packaging, covering, and trying to look like the best. But I want to advise everybody that is failing out there. Failure doesn't mean it's the end of your life. Every situation, every failure is a redirection. It's like a U-turn, like a bend, a curve to navigate you to the place where you are supposed to go to in life. Every single experience in life. Nothing is a coincidence. You're not failing for just because you want to fail. It's not true. The only time where you are really failing is if you don't learn from your failures.
True.
And life is a circle. Life doesn't move you to the next phase until you have passed the test from the previous phase. So if you find yourself keep going through the same situation over and over again, there's something you're supposed to be learning that you are not learning. And this one does not have to do with God. It's not God. These are natural effects of natural causes of life. If you don't learn from a particular stage in your life, you can't move to the next stage. Words cannot express the depth of gratitude and love I feel for you. You have given everything for us, sacrificing your own needs and desires to ensure our happiness and well-being. Your selflessness and unwavering support has shaped us into the people we are today. Your love has been a constant guiding light, and I am forever grateful for your sacrifices. Thank you, Mom, for being the pillar of strength and love in our lives. I love you so much.